Russia will see pervasive inflation and lack of shops as the impact of Western sanctions kicks in. There are fears that the Kremlin's invasion of Ukraine will see Russia slide back to the shortages and endless queues that characterized the Soviet Union. Just a week after Russia launched its invasion, bags of sugar and buckwheat began disappearing from local markets. Meanwhile, shops in some major cities have reported shortages of essential products such as tampons, and the prices of imported goods such as clothing have also skyrocketed. Yet despite a sharp rise in the price of basic products, the Kremlin has blamed panic buying and insisted that there is more than enough supply to satisfy demand. The West widely condemned Putin's invasion of Ukraine, and responded by imposing sanctions that the Russian president labeled economic blitzkrieg. According to former BBC Moscow correspondent Mr. Connolly, the sanctions are beginning to take effect. Mr. Connolly told, "Sanctions are starting to have an effect. You're going to see rampant inflation in Russia and there will be some shortages in shops. There were already shortages of goods from the European Union because there was a mutual exchange of sanctions after the invasion of Crimea. A weakening ruble has sent prices soaring across the country. Meanwhile, Russia's annual inflation has shot up to 12.5%, the country's highest level since 2015, when the country's economy was reeling from a global drop in oil prices and sanctions over the annexation of Crimea. Russia's economy ministry announced that Russia inflation was at 12.5% as of March 11, having a week earlier been at 10.4%. Mr. Connolly noted that Russia had tried to sanction-proof its economy in recent years, though the unprecedented severity of the West's sanctions was still having an effect. The Russia expert said, one of the things that Putin was trying to do was develop Russia's ability to make its own cheeses. That sounds fairly banal, but he was trying to develop a capacity to say to the Russian people, look, we don't need these foreign foods coming in because we can do much more ourselves. So there has been an effort to sanction-proof the Russian economy. But the closure of the Russian stock market for an entire week tells you that the Russian authorities are terrified that these sanctions will cause a massive drop in the value of the ruble that's already begun to happen. Russia won't be able to pay its debts on the world stage. It's going to start trying to pay its foreign debt in rubles instead of dollars and euros. That is going to look like a default. All of this will eventually feed through into higher and higher prices, and fewer choices for ordinary Russians. In response to the ruble plunging by a fifth in the wake of sanctions, Russia's central bank more than doubled interest rate to 20%. The central bank tried to prevent the currency falling further by increasing the main rate from 9.5% to 20%. It also sought to protect the country's economy by refusing to open the Moscow Stock Exchange. The Moscow Stock Exchange will partially reopen on Thursday after a record closure that lasted almost a month. It will resume trading in stocks for some of Russia's biggest companies including Gazprom, Rosneft and Sberbank.